Okay, so here we are, the first mock-up, this one obviously without sleeves. I already know I'm going to have to drop the arm's eye a little bit because it's right up there. There's not really any space for me to be comfortable. I already dropped it some from the original pattern when I was trying it on because I couldn't get my arm through. I'm pretty sure I need to add a little bit of space across the bust, but if I do that, I'm definitely going to have to take out a little bit of space in the darts right here just to have it fitted and shaped. I also want a bit more length on it. Like, even though I added extra length to it when I was making the pattern itself, it's still a bit shorter than I like. Like, I'm imagining the pants are going to rest like right there, and that's not quite enough space for me to be happy. It feels like it's going to slip out and come untucked too easily. But, you know, we'll see. Alright, this is mock-up number 2. As you can see, it fits much nicer across the bust. I added about an inch to the back and a little bit to the front. Dramatically lowered the arm's eye here and brought the shoulder a little bit forward so that it doesn't pull on my neck quite as badly. I also lengthened it by about another 5 inches just so that it'll tuck more easily into a pair of pants, because I would really like to not have to be constantly tucking in my shirt. I do still think I want to put some darts like right here and there, and possibly take in just a little bit at the small of my back, just because I feel like I don't need this much space right there, and I would like it to be a little tighter. Oh, hey, there's a cat! Hi, baby! Hi, sweetheart! Anyway, hi. We'll do the important task of petting the cat on camera. There we go. Alright, but yeah, so now I'm probably going to take some darts in here and just see what happens if I tuck a little bit in right at the back, small of my back. You know, just small adjustments. If I can make it to an actual completed pattern for this shirt in less than 5 mock-ups, I will be so thrilled. Alright, here we are at mock-up take 3, where I am actually super thrilled with how this is looking so far. I might let this particular dart out just a little bit, maybe drop it down a tiny bit because I'm not quite sure I like how tall it is. On the other hand, it may end up growing on me. Hi, baby! Hi! She thinks that anytime I'm talking in my room, I'm talking to her, and it's adorable. She also thinks my camera, or my phone rather, can pet her, which is extra adorable, but it makes it very hard to get a picture of her holding still. The one thing I'm not super thrilled about is how there's a little bit of, bunching right there at the waist, but, it's not the end of the world, and I'm pretty sure that if I take out just a tiny, tiny hair more right at the base of the back, just narrow it down a little bit right there, that will solve that problem. But on the other hand, who knows? I might end up needing to let right here take like just the tiniest bit there. That looks like it also might solve the problem. I don't know. I'm going to play around with some different ideas and see what pinning does. I thought I might have to put a dart in back here, which I still might, because ooh, that isn't taking it in from the wrinkling very nicely, so I might put a little dart right in the back. But overall, I am super thrilled with how it's looking, and this is 3rd time sewing on the mock-up, so, hey, way faster going together than the corset. Hello, darlings. So this is the final fitting on the torso. These wrinkles will disappear once it's not safety pinned shut, but I elected that I am not, in fact, out of my mind enough to attach and then take off all the fasteners I would need for this. I ended up taking a little tiny dart out of right here just to make this back waist bit fit a bit better. And I'm going to narrow in right up here at the neck just a little bit to make this area lay just a little smoother. Also, kitty cat says hi. Hey, baby, come here. Yeah. But overall, I am super pleased with it, and now comes the really unfun part, drafting the sleeves. Okay, so now comes the part that some people do consider to be, actively evil, which is sleeves. Now, I've already had to reconfigure some of my measurements because the arm's eye I measured originally and the arm's eye of the actual shirt are vastly different. The original arm's eye that I measured was 15 3/4 inch. The one from the shirt, once it had been reconfigured to make me feel comfortable in it, is 23 3/4 inches. So, a good bit different, but that's fine. That's why we do mock-ups. That's part and parcel of this whole deal. So, we're going to start with the sleeves. So it does specifically tell me to draft it on a folded paper to make the final making of this thing easier. So the paper is folded, and I just cut off a piece that was as wide as I needed it to be, because I can always use the scraps for like collars, cuffs, stuff like that. And now it wants from an arbitrary point 1. So I'm just going to put 1 over here at, why was that like that? I'm going to just put an arbitrary point 1 just at the end, just because that way we waste slightly less paper, hopefully. And from 1, we're going to give it a little bit of space from over here, just so that we can have a little extra at the end if we decide we want to do some fun shaping or something. All right, so from 1, measure to the length of sleeve 2, which I want to be shoulder to wrist, essentially, which is 26 inches allegedly. So this will probably end up being longer just because I do have really long arms and I like my sleeves long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So, point 1, and then point 2, all the way down here. So, all the way down here. It's going to be a very long sleeve, but like I said, it's probably going to be a good bit longer. Now from 1, we measure, once again from 1 over here. We measure up to 3, which is going to be the inside measurement, which I have over here, I think. Possibly, maybe? Did I not get that? Oh, no, there, arm side of hand is what I measured it, or wrote it at, which is 23 inches, so measure 3 up from here. 1, 2, 3, or 3 up from here. So this would become point 3. And now from 3, we measure out to 5, half of the arm's eye measurement. If the arm's eye is 23 3/4, then half of it would be 11 1/2. So that's 0.5 out here. And now from, half arm side measurement plus 2 inches, so yes. That would be actually 13 1/2 inches. I'm a dork who should read my pattern instructions fully before doing things. So 5 is out, all the way out there. From 1, measure out to 4, half of the hand measurement. My hand is dainty, so my hand measurement is 8 1/4 inches, so I'll simplify it out to 8 1/2 just because I don't like having to mark 1/8 inches. So 8 1/2, that goes to 4 1/4. Let's make sure I don't need to mark any extra on that. Plus 1 inch, so that would go out to, it would be 9 1/2, so that would go out to 5 and, no, not 5 1/4, that would go out to 4 3/4. Yeah. I am not good at math, and it is currently like midnight-ish, or past midnight at this point. So it would be 0.4 there. And now from 2, measure out to 6, half the arm's eye measurement minus 2 inches. So that would be 9 1/2, I think. Yeah, 9 1/2. There we go. For the curve under the arm, measure in from 5 to 7, 1/4 of the arm's eye. I'm going to simplify that math and say that my arm's eye is 24 inches, so that would be 6 there. So 5 to 7. So from 0.5 here on the paper right there to 7, it wants me to curve in 1/4 of the arm's eye. Okay, that's a lot of fitting space in there. Oh, no, I get it. It's 5 down 6. So that makes more sense than what I was thinking. There we go. So that would be 7 right there. And I should maybe erase the wrong 5 so that I don't keep trying to use it for anything. There we go. Alright, so 0.7 is there. Alright then, that looks weird, but okay. For the top of the upper portion of the sleeve, draw an outward curved line from 6 to 5. So that's outward curve, if I'm understanding correctly. It wants it to be like that, outward curved. So like that. And for the top of the under portion, draw another outward curve from 2 through... Where was 0.2? Oh, 2. 2 is there. Wait, I'm confusion. Alright, so from these two, we need to curve them. That looks like a really wide arm's eye, so we'll have to see how this goes. This could be interesting. Alright, and now extending it 1/4 of an inch below the arm's eye line. So we need to extend it out 1/4 of an inch there, about like that much. Now connect 5 and 4. Wait, no. No? Yeah, connect 5 and 4 with a dotted line. 4 is all the way down over at this corner. So. This is going to be a very bell-like sleeve, I think, which is not entirely the look that I'm going for here quite. So I'll probably end up taking in the arm's eye a bit, but like oh, that was supposed to be dotted. So we can make it dotted with an eraser. But mock-ups are for fine-tuning these things and making ourselves happy with them. There we go. Okay, now it's a dotted line functionally. Alright, measure down the inside length and draw an inward curved line for the seam. What? Okay, so I think what it means is this, how it wants it to curve inwards like that, which is doable. That's something that I can make happen. Yeah, because it does definitely appear to want a point here. So I might curve that up a little bit more because it looks like on the picture it's a bit more of a soft curve right there. There we go. Now it wants me to curve, it looks like here. And then it wants me to come basically out and touch this line here, it looks like. I think. This is all, blatant conjecture. And then, all right. So it wants me to connect 1 and 4 with a slightly curved line, so curving up at 4. That's all right. That's a thing that we can do. Oh, I should get my hand out of the way so that you can see. There we go. I'm not sure I'm quite happy with that, but that is definitely something we can make work later. Okay, I think I get it now. So, I'm supposed to connect these bits here, looks like. This still looks like a really, really honkin' large sleeve head. But it is supposed to be gathered into the thing. Right. And this is for how long it would be without a cuff. Since I do intend to put cuffs on it, it wants me to bring up the edge about 2.5 inches, which is 100% a doable item. I can just fold them out of the way. There we go. Oh, there it is. Right. And now it goes into talking about how to make the sleeve and attach the cuff and stuff, which I don't quite need right this second. So since we have, in theory, and I might curve everything up a little bit more just to make it a smoother situation. We will see what we see once it's all cut out and I've attached one sleeve, because I'm only going to cut out one sleeve at a time, because there's no use attaching and fitting 2 sleeves at the same time. There's just no point to that. So I think I'm going to smooth out all of these lines over here just a little bit more and then put everything together. Okay friends, so here we have one sleeve and, I'm trying to get the phone to where you can see it. One collar attached. I'm not quite sure I like how wide the collar is. I like how tall it is, coming up to here, but I think I need to move it a little farther in right here, so it's a little, sorry, I'm trying to get a good angle, but I'm not filming with my dominant hand, and that's a bit of a problem. So I'm thinking I'm going to move it in just a little bit there so that it fits a little closer around my neck. I mean, I'm going to be wearing various things over it, but yeah, just to have it look better. But I really like how it curves around my neck. It feels very comfortable. The sleeve, I like how the sleeve head fits into the arm's eye, and I like how much range of motion I have. I'm not sure I like how baggy it is around the whole arm. I feel like I'm probably going to tighten it up a good bit so that it hugs closer to my elbow and my wrist. But overall, I'm super happy with how this thing is fitting. And yeah, we will see what we will see. Okay friends, so here we have the final completed mock-up. I'm not making a second arm just because that's a waste of fabric, but I did a fancy cuff. I added a bit more poof to the upper sleeve and narrowed down the rest of the sleeve. Hi baby. Yes. Yes, Mama is talking to the people again. I'm going to tomorrow cut out the actual final fabric. I'm actually thinking of, for the lining of the collar and the cuff, doing it in a brighter colored silk just because essentially. But I am super happy with the overall thing. I might still tweak how the collar goes because it looks crooked to me. That could just be because of how the shirt itself is sitting. Sorry about that. So I might alter that just because it doesn't look like it's coming out flat, but overall I am super pleased. Well, here we are, the finished shirt. I am super pleased about it, although I might adjust how the cuff goes together just because I'm not sure I'm 100% happy with it. I might add a space for a second cuff link just because I can, essentially. But look at it! It fits so nice and the buttons all line up and everything, and I am super pleased. Like, the collar stands the way I want it to, it fits in a way that I'm happy with. I have the full range of motion that I want, the sleeves do the little bit of poofy that I want. It's so fun! I'm so happy!